Ken Kesey was a writer who gained fame for his 1962 novel, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And in the years that followed, he became an icon in the 1960s psychedelic movement.
Part of what inspired him to write that book was his experience as a test subject for some supposedly clinical drugs that the government was testing.
Now, these weren't any ordinary lab tests, though. This was the CIA's MK-Ultra experiments, famous for, among other things, the illegal testing of psychedelic drugs like LSD as tools for interrogation.
After several doses and the experiences that followed, Kesey saw potential in the drug far beyond use as a Cold War mind control weapon.
It's a whole new way to look at the world.
A vehicle for creativity unbound by rational inhibition.
In other words, a
Truly revolutionary trip, man!
Pretty soon he had a whole troop at his side, hell-bent on sharing this communal act of creation with the whole hip world. Their goal was to spread a message of revolution that was founded on fun and freedom, and that got at the core of the mythic tradition of American possibility.
One of the phrases Kesey and his gang started to use to describe their collective experience was that they were into the pudding.
like that guy, he gets it. He's tuned in and open to new possibilities. He's into the pudding.
Now Kesey was into the pudding.
Guys like Allen Ginsberg and Neil Cassidy were into the pudding too.
Grateful Dead? They were into the pudding.
The college kids that stumbled into Kesey's parties late at night,
They were definitely into the pudding.
Even kindred spirits from the past, German philosophers, the French symbolists, hell, even Muhammad, Buddha, and Jesus fucking Christ, all into the pudding.
Anyway, being a band from Milwaukee, a city that typically isn't seen as a cultural hub by the outside world, it feels like us and all the other artists we know are this really too well-kept secret that's really ready to burst into the public eye.
You've been around the local music scene here. More and more, it feels like something's happening. Left and right, new doors are opening that local artists never would have imagined years prior.
Our goal with this album, and really with anything we do, is to get more people into the pudding of what's happening creatively here in Milwaukee and all across the Midwest.
So I gotta ask, are you into the
Are you
pudding?
into the pudding?